Hello everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Ibrio. I'm so happy to see you here again. Today, we are going to practice English together in a fun and easy way. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. So don't give up, keep going, and trust yourself. You can do it. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. It really helps us grow and bring you more lessons. And one more thing. While you listen, try to do shadowing. That means repeat after me with the same speed and intonation. You will see how fast your speaking improves when you practice this way. So, are you ready? Let's start learning English together. Step by step, today, we will talk about something very important in English. Introducing yourself. Why is it important? Because the first thing we do when we meet someone is introduce ourselves. If you want to make friends, join a class, or meet new people, you must know how to say your name, your age, and your country. It's simple, but very powerful. So let's start. Let's meet Emily. Hello, my name is Emily. I am 20 years old. I am from Canada. That's a full introduction. Sometimes Emily likes to joke. She says, "Hello, my name is Super Emily. I am 200 years old. I am from the moon." Of course, it's not true, but it makes people laugh. The first step is your name. We usually say, "My name is," or for example, "My name is Emily," or "I'm Emily." Emily is our character today. She is a funny, happy girl. She loves ice cream and cats. She says, "Hello, my name is Emily." Repeat it with me slowly. Hello, my name is Emily. Sometimes Emily likes to be silly. She says, "Hi, I'm Super Emily." Haha, she likes to make people laugh. So remember, your name is the first thing you share. Now let's talk about age. We usually say, "I am years old." Emily says, "I am 20 years old." This is very simple. Again, I am 20 years old. Sometimes Emily makes a joke. I am 200 years old. I am a vampire. Of course, that's not true, but it makes people smile. So, your age tells people more about you. Next is your country. We say, "I am from." Emily says, "I am from Canada." Again, "I am from Canada." One day, Emily was joking and said, "I am from the moon." People laughed, because of course, nobody comes from the moon. But this is how we can be funny when introducing ourselves. Now, let's put everything together. Emily says, "Hello, my name is Emily. I am 20 years old. I am from Canada." This is a complete introduction. Simple, clear, and perfect. If she wants to be funny, she can say, "Hello, my name is Super Emily. I am 200 years old. I am from the moon." And everyone will laugh. Introducing yourself is not just words. It is the first step to communication. It helps you make friends. It helps you feel confident. And it opens the door to new conversations. When Emily meets new people, she feels shy. But when she says, "Hi, I'm Emily. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Canada," she feels stronger, more confident, and people smile back at her. That is why this simple skill is so important. Let's repeat together with Emily. Slowly. Hello, my name is Emily. I am 20 years old. Am from Canada. Again, but faster. Hello, my name is Emily. I am 20 years old. I am from Canada. One more time with energy. Hello, my name is Emily. I am 20 years old. I am from Canada. Knowing ourselves in English is important because it allows us to connect with a wider world and to reflect on who we are in a language that has become global. It gives us the ability to describe our feelings, our identity, our dreams, and our goals in a way that can be understood by millions of people across cultures. When we learn how to talk about ourselves in English, we are not just practicing vocabulary or grammar. We are practicing self-awareness and self-discovery, the process of finding words in English to explain who we are. Pushes us to think more deeply about our strengths, our weaknesses, our values, and our aspirations. When we say, I am creative, or I am patient, or I am curious in English, we are not just using language. We are shaping identity in a form that others can hear and understand. And this act makes us more conscious of the layers that build us. Knowing ourselves in English also expands opportunities. Education, business, travel, art, and friendship often require English skills. If we cannot talk about ourselves in English, we may miss chances to apply for jobs, to study abroad, to collaborate with international teams, or to share our stories with global audiences. When you can introduce yourself confidently in English, when you can explain your background, your passions, your talents, and your ambitions, you position yourself for growth and recognition. You become more than a number or a stranger. You become a person with a story, and stories matter because they create trust, they inspire others, and they open doors. Another reason knowing ourselves in English is vital is because it builds confidence. Many people know grammar rules, but freeze when asked. Tell me about yourself in English. This simple request can feel huge because it demands clarity and honesty about who we are practicing. This skill makes us stronger when we face interviews, when we meet new friends, when we attend workshops, or even when we post online in English every time we describe ourselves in English. We reinforce our identity and the confidence to show it to the world. English also gives us mirrors and windows mirrors, because when we explain ourselves in English, we see our own reflection from a new angle, windows, because others can look into our experience and understand us from far away. This is especially important in a connected world where cultures overlap and collaboration is constant. Knowing ourselves in English lets us participate instead of staying silent. It lets us shape the conversation instead of being shaped by it. Another point is personal growth. When we learn to explain who we are in another language, we activate parts of the brain that are creative, analytical, and reflective. Translating our own story into English requires choices. What words describe me best? What tone fits me? What examples from my life show my true self? This process makes us sharper thinkers and better communicators. We also learn humility because sometimes we cannot find the exact word and we must search, adapt, and keep trying. This builds resilience and patience, valuable skills in every part of life. We must also remember that identity is not fixed. It grows and shifts as we change and as the world changes. Knowing ourselves in English helps us record and track that growth. Today, I may say I am a student tomorrow. I may say I am a teacher or a traveler or an artist. Expressing these transformations in English keeps us updated with ourselves and allows us to share our evolving journey with others. If we do not practice this skill, we risk losing opportunities to present the new versions of ourselves. Knowing ourselves in English also deepens cross-cultural empathy. When you explain yourself in English to someone from another country, they often explain themselves back. You see both the differences and the similarities. you realize that even if you grew up thousands of kilometers apart, you both value family friendship, ambition, or peace. This recognition builds bridges and reduces prejudice and misunderstanding. Another benefit is that English acts as a tool for personal branding. In the modern world, people often search online before meeting you. Your profile, your biography, your introduction are often in English. If you know yourself in English, you can craft a clear, authentic, professional self-image that helps people understand and respect you. Whether on LinkedIn, on social media, on academic platforms, or in creative spaces, if you cannot describe yourself well in English, you may be underestimated or overlooked. Furthermore, knowing yourself in English is important for inner dialogue. As much as for communication with others, sometimes we think in our first language, but switching to English gives us fresh perspective. It creates distance from automatic habits of thought and lets us analyze our emotions and actions from another angle. For example, writing a journal about your day in English or describing your feelings in English can reveal new insights because the language pushes you to structure ideas differently and choose precise words. It is also essential for leadership. Leadership requires clarity of vision and the ability to inspire others when you know yourself. In English, you can state your values and your mission clearly to international teams or communities. Leaders who cannot describe themselves in English may struggle to earn trust on a global scale. Leaders who can speak from the heart in English about who they are and what they stand for can move people to action across borders. In addition, knowing ourselves in English helps us navigate identity in globalized contexts. Many of us belong to multiple cultures and identities. English allows us to integrate these layers and explain them to people who may not share our background. We can say, I am Jordanian and also a global citizen. I am a scientist and also an artist. I am rooted in tradition and also open to change. English helps us hold these truths together and express them without confusion. It also plays a role in mental health expression, is key to well-being. Bottling emotions can lead to stress, but being able to describe feelings and identity in English gives access to global support groups, counselors, books, podcasts, and communities where help and advice are shared. Many resources are in English, and without the skill to talk about ourselves in this language, we may feel isolated. Developing this ability gives us access to healing knowledge and solidarity. Another factor is creativity. When you know yourself in English, you can write songs, poems, stories, or scripts that express your identity to a worldwide audience. Art in English travels further and faster. Your message, your style, your originality can reach more people, and this amplifies your creative voice. Many global artists started by simply explaining who they are in English and turned that personal story into universal art. The academic world also values English. Greatly researched publications, conferences, scholarships are often in English. Knowing how to describe yourself, your research interests, your motivations in English is essential to be included. Without this ability, brilliant ideas may remain unheard by the global academic community, business success is also tied to self-knowledge. In English networking, pitching ideas, negotiating collaborations often start with personal introductions. The ability to say clearly in English who you are, what you value, and what you offer is a key skill that creates trust and opportunity. Without it, deals may be lost and partnerships missed. Finally, knowing ourselves in English empowers us in everyday life, from travel to entertainment, when we meet people abroad, when we join online communities, when we explore cultures through media. We constantly face chances to introduce ourselves or explain our perspective. Those who can do this in English are not locked out of the experience. They step in fully and share themselves authentically. So today we learned how to introduce ourselves in English. We learned, my name is, I am, years old, I am from, and we met our funny friend Emily, who showed us how to make it simple and fun. Remember, introducing yourself is the first step to connection. Practice it, repeat it, and use it in real life. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode.